Let's go to Melbourne, though, where they're waiting to have the lockdown ease somewhat at midnight tonight. Liberal MP Tim Smith joins us. Thanks for joining us again, Tim. The thing that I find mind-boggling is that they decide more than 24 hours ago now to lift the lockdown, but they still haven't done it because the bureaucracy has to have almost 2 days to process the paperwork.
Good evening, Chris. It is bizarre. They can lock us down pretty quickly, but to take us out of lockdown seems to take 36 hours. It's not very fair, I might add, given that this lockdown every day is costing the economy hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's before you get to this bizarre double standard where you can visit a brothel in country Victoria, but you're banned from attending a gym in Melbourne, and we're still going to be forced to wear masks outdoors from tomorrow onwards. Outdoors on your own.
It's seriously. Just no, I'll come back to some of those restrictions in a moment. But first up, you make a really strong point. That is, when they bring in a lockdown, they can do that super quickly. They can shut people down within hours. Yet undoing the lockdown seems to take 2 days.
Yeah, and I make this point again. This costs the economy hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know if anyone is advising the government from an economic perspective, and I'm not sure if Brett Sutton has ever worked in the private sector, but you would have thought that those considerations about how much money that's costing the economy, businesses, jobs, people's mental health, mums and dads trying to school their kids at home for another day that could have been alleviated. I mean, there is no reason why this lockdown couldn't have ended at 11:59 p.m. last night, save for, according to Brett Sutton and the acting Premier, the drafting of the legalese for the restrictions in Metro Melbourne and country Victoria. I mean, these guys seem to be living in a parallel universe, I must say. It's quite shameful.
Now, the anomalies you talked about are just extraordinary. The fact that you can knock yourself out in a knock shop in anywhere in regional Victoria but can't go to a gym in Melbourne. But the classic too is that the last minute today is saying that people are going to have to wear masks still after midnight tonight, masks outdoors. Now, the science on this is in. There's no scientific reason for people walking around outdoors to be wearing masks. Why are they doing it to Victorians?
I think this is a ploy, a psychological ploy by the state government to ensure that Victorians remember that there are still a number of active cases in the community. There is no scientific reason whatsoever that if you're taking the dog for a walk on your own, that you need to wear a mask. None. There is very good scientific data that shows being outside reduces the transmissibility of COVID by 20, 30% anyway. So this mask business outside is a stunt, and it's without scientific basis. Look, I think wearing masks on public transport in the supermarket it's common sense. I understand that. Everyone does. And I'm not quibbling with that at the moment. But I am making the point, particularly for older Victorians whose only form of exercise is a walk, particularly those people that wear glasses and those glasses fog up when they're wearing a mask. This is a real issue, and people are very distressed about this. They don't want to be forced to wear a mask when they're doing low-intensity exercise like going for a walk on their own. And I think, and also the point about gyms. Gyms are very important for people's not only physical health, but mental health. I say get the gyms back open, because what people are losing in terms of that ability for that physical outburst in a gym and what it does for their mental health, I think the cost benefit of that versus COVID spread, get the gyms open, get people back into the gyms. I think people will be far better off than keeping the gyms locked up. And as you say, this ability for people to go to a brothel in country Victoria but not a gym in Melbourne is ridiculous. And I might add too, the 1 per 4 square metre rule for hospitality. I mean, hospitality is on its knees. Cafes, pubs, restaurants in Melbourne, which is the lifeblood of our CBD. Our CBD is as dead as a doornail. I've just come from State Parliament in the centre of Melbourne. It's as dead as a doornail. And those ongoing restrictions will continue to ensure that our hospitality sector can't recover.
We've got to push them. And thanks for joining us again, Tim. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.